Ever since the election last October, there was a concern that this would unfold. Supporters of the loser, the former President Bolsonaro, unwilling to accept the result. At Congress, at the Supreme Court, and at the presidential palace, thousands were moving in or attempting to. From live streams online, the early moments of this seemed to unfold with little resistance from the security forces. Tear gas was used, but the police were outnumbered. The scenes have drawn comparisons with America's recent moment of democratic strain, the January the 6th protest in Washington. But here in Brazil, there were no politicians inside at the time. The election was in October, the far-right president ousted by his far-left opponent Lula da Silva. The inauguration was last weekend. Bolsonaro refused to go. He's in Florida instead. President Lula was not in Brasilia at the time, but he was on the airwaves swiftly.
The policemen who participated in this cannot go unpunished, and they can't stay in force. They cannot be trusted by Brazilian society. It's important for these people to be punished in an exemplary way.
The Security and Justice Minister responded to developments, calling it an invasion and an absurd attempt to impose protesters' will by force. But the government here knows the challenge. Brazil's political polarization is now playing out in the heart of its political institutions. From abroad, statements of support for Lula and democracy were issued quickly. The British ambassador: "We condemn the violent scenes on institutions today in Brasilia. We reaffirm our confidence in the strength of Brazil's democracy and the smooth functioning of its democratic process." And from the French president: "The will of the Brazilian people and the democratic institutions must be respected. President Lula can count on the unfailing support of France." This is ongoing, and the coming hours will be critical as the world watches. Mark Stone, Sky News.